everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video about how I watched my birth mom get a train ran on her, and a lot of you guys didn't believe that was true. Some of you wanted a story time, and here is that story time for you guys. So I'm gonna lay some foundation of how we ended up in Colorado from Tennessee. So me and my brothers were living in different households at this point. My mom came to the school and said that we all had dentist appointments and she was checking us out for them. So when she checked us out for the dentist appointment, we just got on the road and started heading to Colorado. We did not know what was going on. When we got to Colorado, we ended up living with my brother's grandma and her husband, but they would get drunk and like hold pew-pews up to one another and start like chasing one another. Like, I vividly remember a night where my Nana Macy got so drunk that she was holding a pew-pew up to my Papa Mike, and he ran and jumped through the window into snow. It was the middle of winter and he was in his underwear. So my mom ended up starting like Colorado Community State College or whatever, and she ended up getting housing. So we started living in a duplex. We moved down the mountain into a little town, and there was like 20 duplexes in this town. And so she started making friends with all the neighbors. There were different kids, whatever. So she ended up deciding to have this party, and I don't know why she needed to have this party, because me and my brothers were living off of free school lunch and cake batter. I kid you not, we were making cake batter for dinner. So she has this party, whatnot, and then like, I don't know how to explain it, but like her door was right here and my brother's door was right here. So that was the kids' room, was my brother's door. They put multiple TVs in there, turned the volume all the way up so nobody could hear anything. I was in my mom's room watching Twilight, and I started to hear stuff going on, and so I'm sneaking out of my mom's room to go to the kids' room, and the bathroom was also, so my mom's room, bathroom, brother's room, hallway, okay? So the bathroom was also right here. And as I'm sneaking out to my brother's room, I see her getting by 6 men in the bathroom because I'm just trying to go to my brother's room, and then they start shutting the door. Okay, that is not all of the story, but this is already getting long. If you want more of the story, I will totally tell that. Yeah, we ended up getting flown back out to Tennessee by DCS, so. Okay, here's part 2 of watching my mom get a train ran on her. I'm also going to clear a few things up. I was in 1st grade when she basically kidnapped us to go to Colorado. So when I watched this, I was in 2nd grade. I am now 22 years old. I no longer talk to her. She's in and out of jail. I was adopted at 15 out of foster care. So all of my horror stories aren't like, they're not going to go anywhere. Like, it's fine. I can talk about it, okay? So like I said, I was watching Twilight, I started to hear noise, and I was trying to sneak out to go to the kids' room that was set up for everyone. So my mom's bedroom was right next to the bathroom, and the kids' room was across the hallway. So I'm sneaking out, and I turn my head because I heard commotion, and I see the door slightly ajar. I would say a little more closed than that, but not too much, because I saw most of the people that were in there. Our bathroom wasn't super small, but it wasn't fucking huge, okay? So I see my mom bent over the counter, getting it. I see people doing things that I shouldn't be seeing. So I go into my brother's room. I'm like, what the is going on in there? They're playing Bedrock, the I Can Make Your Bed Rock Girl. They're playing that in the kids' room so freaking loud that you could barely hear anything that was going on, and I was watching Twilight, okay? So I go in there, I talk to my brothers, whatnot, and then I decide that I'm not doing this, because my mom had a habit of putting us in situations where we had to watch stuff happen that we shouldn't have to watch happen, or hear stuff, or be around stuff that we shouldn't have to be around. Like, all of my siblings and I were born with some sort of amphetamine in our system, if you catch my drift. So my mom's not a great person. Do I forgive her? Yes. Do I have love for her? Yes. Is it the same kind of love I would have for her if she would have taken care of me? No. So after I muster up the courage to go out there, they're no longer in the bedroom. And it's my mom and this one other guy named Blue. And so I go out there and I see her on the couch getting it. And I just started losing my shit. I was like, make him go home now. Why did you lock all of us in a room? Like, I don't know if I was saving her life or if I was saving our lives and saving us, because she drove the guy home. And then another guy was sleeping in my other brother's room in his bed the next morning when we all woke up, and we were like, what is going on? Like I said, not too long after that, DCS from Tennessee flew out to Colorado, picked us up, brought us back out here, and my brother's grandma, Nana Macy, moved out here like 2 weeks after that. We were in foster care for 2 weeks at that point. She moved out here. She took care of us until I was 8 or 9, and then I got put in another home till I was 13, and then I got put back in foster care. Yesterday I told you how I watched my mom have a train run on her when I was in 2nd grade, and then I told you about how I found out she was having sexual relations with my rapist, and today I'm going to tell you about when she tried to unalive herself in front of me and my 2 brothers. For context, like, we never fully lived with my birth mom. We just would kind of go over there and stay, and then in some periods she would have us and sometimes she wouldn't. I'm pretty sure she just had visitation, but I can't fully remember because it was never consistent. So she had this boyfriend named Dwayne, and Dwayne had a son, and I think his name was Brandon, and we moved into a trailer with them. Well, one night my mom and Dwayne got into a fight, and it ended up physical. He ended up leaving, and she was in the kitchen doing dishes. We heard her scream, and I remember running in there, and there was just blood dripping down her left arm, and I was like, what is going on? She had taken a butcher knife in the sink and tried to, her own wrist, to unalive herself. She had left a little note and everything. Like, she took the time to write a note and try to do that while we were all there. She ended up not passing away. She still has that scar on her wrist. There's a lot more that happened. Like, she got lupus and was in the hospital. She broke her back, broke her leg. We thought she was going to die. She was on hospice. There was so much going on. I still don't consistently talk to her, but I will continue to do these story times and kind of show you guys like what has helped me heal. And I feel like that's the biggest thing to get out of this. Like, yes, talking about the trauma is helpful, but also telling you guys how I've started to heal from that I think it might help other people.
All right, everyday people, man, it's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video, back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. We live on Twitch, so if you're not following me on Twitch, man, make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button on YouTube, and follow me on Twitch to check out the live commentary, man. Oh my God. So the difference between the O and the T, there's a question in the Twitch. It says, what's the difference between a O-R-G-Y and a T-R-A-I-N? Well, the O, everybody kind of joins in. You know what I mean? You switch up. There's more than one male and more than one female. You know, there's like 2 or more. You know what I mean? But on a train, it's only one female and multiple men, more than one. So, you know, that's pretty much the difference. Sad situation. I think this probably messed her up, but not in a bad way, because I think she kind of, the way she seems is that she blocked everything out from her mom, so her mom's trauma wouldn't hurt her. But this, again, these are the memories that she has and she remembers. I think that, and a 3-way is 2 women and 1 man, but it just depends on how you get down, because like I said, a 3-way is 2 women and 1 man, where the women would, you know, touch each other. But it can be the other way, but that requires 2 men engaging in, you know. So that's that. Yeah, this situation, man, I don't really know, man. I've never met anybody this dysfunctional. I know there are people out there, but you know, I don't know any. I don't have any friends that I grew up with that I've seen living a traumatic life, and then they just went away because they, you know, were being abused or, you know, something like that. And I lived in the hood. But one thing I do know about the hood is a lot of times black people, they sweep a lot of that crap under the rug and they ignore the family. That's why you have these terrible ass families. These terrible families, pretty much, you know, these kids being abused for years and years on end, and they never get saved because nobody will speak up for the kids. Now, I'm guessing in white families this must be different or something, or maybe they being treated differently in the system. But I see so many black kids that go through so much, or I hear about it, and but you find out they was still with their mama being abused and being neglected, not going to school and stuff like that for years and years on end. So, for the child support service, or child not child support, the child services to fly out from Houston to Colorado. That's I don't think I've ever heard that being done before, especially in the black community, because I don't think they care that much. But that's just my opinion. That's not false. I mean, that's not facts, but it's just my opinion. I remember watching. I remember when my grandmother used to have foster kids. She didn't adopt them; they just be at the house for a short amount of time. I remember going to places to meet some of these kids' parents, and they'll have some sort of visitation. So we sitting there at KFC or McDonald's or Church's Chicken. We just in there, and while this person makes a visitation, and we used to do it so much, and I just be like, I never knew what it was. I just knew I was there, and I don't remember why I was always there. Like, I remember so many times my grandmother taking me with these adopted children or foster children, and it was always, and oh, I know why. The reason why my grandma, because she always had a boy my age. So she would, hey, come play with a little so and so, so and so. I was like, all right. The reason why I knew why I would go play with them, because I knew, we was gonna get some Long John Silvers, because it was Long John Silvers around the corner. I knew we was gonna get some Long John Silvers. She hated McDonald's, but we would go there from time to time. She hated McDonald's. But Long John Silver, we get some pizza. It's just whatever was around the corner from my grandma's house. So that's kind of why I like going over there, because I knew I was like, she calling me over here, and she got a new kid, and they need somebody to play with, and damn it, they probably got to do a visitation. That's crazy. So yeah, I've been to a bunch of them. It's crazy. Have you ever dealt with any foster kids in your life? Like, have y'all had any experiences with being around foster kids? I think there ain't nothing wrong with them. A lot of them were pretty normal. There was one foster kid that I know that was very sexually active, and she used to do a lot of suspicious things. One time, oh, if I ever found this girl, I probably never, because I don't remember her name. But this girl was so pretty when I was a kid. She was a little light skinned girl. Had pretty green eyes. She was fine. And as a kid, I knew she was fine. But she was jacked up too. She probably crazy and cracked out right now, because her mama was she was a crack baby.